All right, I think we're going to get started here so we're not making everybody wait too long. But good morning, everybody. My name is Yulia. I'm the Marketing and Communications Coordinator at the Better Business Bureau. I'm very happy to present our webinar today, The Value of Insurance for a Small Business, which we're doing in partnership with Jocelyn Insurance and the Waterloo Region Small Business Center. So to start, I'm going to just give a brief overview of what the BBB actually does if you're not familiar with it already. And then I'll also pass it on to Steve, who's going to give an outline of what Jocelyn Insurance does. From there, we're going to have Aaron, who's going to speak about the different types of commercial insurance that a small business owner should have, as well as Romano, who's going to talk about the different plan options that we have available. Ryan's then going to outline the home and auto benefits available from Jocelyn Insurance. And then finally, Chris will be speaking about all of the different resources that you can access with the Small Business Center in Waterloo Region. And then finally, to finish us off, Wayne is just going to quickly touch upon how you can apply to become accredited with BBB today. We'll have a Q&A period at the end of the session, but if you'd like to submit any questions throughout, you can always use the chat function, or if you'd like to raise your hand and say it out loud, you're more than welcome to do that as well. All right, so the Better Business Bureau is a nonprofit organization that was started in 1912, and it was originally started to get rid of false advertising. And now BBB has grown into a reporting and membership-based agency with nearly 100 locations across North America. BBB focuses on promoting trust and ethicality by providing accreditations to businesses that follow high standards of ethical business practices. We've been able to build a community of nearly 400,000 accredited businesses across North America now. Additionally, BBB works to protect the public against scammers by reviewing and publishing any scams submitted by the public. I'll now hand it off to Steve, who's going to give an outline of Jocelyn Insurance to you.
Thanks, Yulia. Hope everybody can hear me okay. Yes. So I just want to thank you for the support and the opportunity to present this morning. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our workshop where we'll share how insurance can bring value to your small business. And later on the presentation, you're also going to have here some value-added benefits and some opportunities to be a part of the Small Business Center and certainly the BBB. My name is Steve Wagler, and I'm one of the partners here at Jocelyn Insurance Brokers. It is a family-owned insurance brokerage with 6 locations in and around Waterloo Region, and I'm operate the company with my brother Scott, and we have a great team of experts that you're going to meet some of them this morning. This coming January will mark the 47th year that Jocelyn has been an accredited business with the BBB. And I think what I want to say is we really appreciate that consumers still recognize that the BBB logo as a symbol of trust and integrity for the businesses that display it. Over the past 5 years, we've worked alongside the management team at the Better Business Bureau to work on value-added benefits that will help large and small business through exclusive insurance offers, and you're going to learn a little bit more throughout the presentation. We are also sponsors of the Waterloo Small Business Center, who support businesses starting up and growing, and we're excited to hear from Chris Farrell later in the presentation. Today, our team of experts are going to focus on the value insurance can play when planning your business. It can be confusing to understand, and really to understand what you need as a startup and what other solutions or options you may want to consider as your business grows and expands. And before I pass the floor over to Aaron Cruchot, one of our commercial insurance specialists, I just want to ask what you're hoping to learn through this webinar when it comes to insurance. And you're welcome to unmute and ask your question, or you're welcome to also use the chat function. And just we want to make sure that this is engaging and interactive. We definitely want to cover off what you're hoping to learn.
Okay, should I go ahead then?
Yeah, absolutely. You can carry on. And if you feel free just to add your questions in the chat as Erin makes her presentation.
Good morning. As Steve said, my name is Erin Cruchot, and I'm an insurance broker with Jocelyn Insurance. I'm happy to speak with you today about commercial insurance. Whether you're launching a startup, expanding your company with new employees, or need contractors insurance, there's no crystal ball for risk. There are several strategies, though, to use while searching for commercial insurance. Take an inventory of your business's risks. Create a list of potential losses or liabilities. This includes any property, including your house if you run your business from your home, vehicles, equipment, or supplies that are vital to your business. And don't forget risks like a data breach. Separate the personal from the commercial. This is especially important if you're still small and using your car or home for business purposes. Your personal policy won't cover you if there are damages due to commercial activities. Don't cut corners by excluding a policy you need. Not all businesses are alike. A restaurant, for instance, has much different coverage needs than a garage. At Jocelyn, we have expert brokers who will guide you and provide you with sound advice on the right products you need to protect your business. What kind of insurance should a small business owner have? You don't have insurance for your business. If you don't have insurance for your business, you are self-insuring, which means you're taking on the whole risk. Insurance allows you to transfer the risk in exchange for a premium. Once you've made a list of everything your business needs to cover, it's time to match those assets and risks up to the right insurance policies. If this is your first time looking for commercial insurance, the difficulty is knowing what kind of insurance options exist. Here is a list of common insurance policies so you can familiarize yourself with what's out there. Commercial property insurance, general liability insurance, professional liability insurance, commercial auto, cybersecurity, just one second, directors and officers insurance, crime, and business interruption. Today we'll just be speaking on the ones that might be the most common when you are starting out. Commercial property insurance. This is a must for any business with physical assets. With the possibility of catastrophes like flood, fire, vandalism, or theft, it's important to have adequate coverage. The kind of coverage you seek depends on how much property you need to insure, and this is a vital area where business owners make the mistake of underinsuring. A policy that only covers your building may seem like enough, but what about the equipment and inventory stored within that building? How about the signs that are located outside the building? And if you're a contractor, I'm sure you would like to have your tools insured against theft, which is a very common loss right now. Think about it this way. If your business can't run without it, make sure it's covered under your policy so you can afford to fix or replace it. General liability insurance. Even the most cautious business owners can find themselves in hot water due to an accident or a product issue. Your business can be held liable for damage caused by your product or your employees or injuries at your office, storefront, or place of business. This is where general liability insurance has your back. All it takes is one big claim to destroy the business you've worked hard to build up, so invest your money into protecting it. Even if the claim is groundless, this policy will cover the costs of your legal defense, including attorney's fees, expert witness fees, court costs, and more, subject to your policy limits. And if you're found liable, this policy will pay all compensatory damages, judgments, and settlements. A general liability insurance policy protects your business from personal injuries that occur on your property, your products or services, and/or property damage resulting from your business operations. It also covers legal claims for false advertising. In a nutshell, general liability insurance enables you to continue your normal operations while dealing with either real or fraudulent claims against your business. Commercial auto insurance. If your company regularly transports people or products, your vehicles are essential to day-to-day operations. Your business may not have thousands of dollars to put towards repairs if there's an accident that results in damages. Whether it's a couple of vans or several trucks, be sure to find commercial auto insurance for your business's vehicles. If you're a salon owner and carrying products to your salon or to a customer, or you're a contractor and transporting tools or material to a job site, you need to have this coverage on your vehicle. We've included a news video of an accident of a woman whose claim was denied because of the commercial use of her vehicle, and the insured was out of pocket for the cost of that claim, even though she told the insurance company that she was using it for her business. I believe now that Yulia is going to run this video.
Many people have small businesses on the side. It might be delivering pizza or selling cosmetics, perhaps working as an Uber driver.
Now, if you do use your own personal car, you could need extra insurance. And if you don't have it, you could have an accident claim denied. Pat Foran has one viewer story on Consumer Alert. Pat.
Well, as right in Canada, a Toronto woman says she did tell her insurance company she used her car for business 30% of the time. 2 weeks ago, she was in an accident. Her insurance company denied her claim, saying she failed to tell them she used it to make deliveries.
Oh, I was in shock because I didn't think I did anything wrong.
Adrienne Winterheld says she has paid insurance premiums for over 30 years and never had an accident. She recently switched to an online insurance company to try and save money.
I'm a widow with 3 kids. I've got to watch my pennies, so it seemed like a good idea to get better insurance rates.
2 weeks ago, she crashed on the 401 while driving to visit a friend. The van has been written off by the insurance company. There's a lot of front-end damage, and as you can see inside, both airbags went off. Winterheld has a small business providing heaters designed to kill bed bugs. When she signed up with Sonnet Insurance, she told them she used her van for business 30% of the time. That's why she was shocked when the company told her, "Your policy has been voided. There will be no payout for this claim."
They said I didn't tell them that I used the car for business purposes, but I did tell them I used the car for business purposes.
Sonnet's website says you can get insured online instantly if you answer just a few easy questions. A spokesperson told us, "If you use your vehicle for business, you may cover it under your personal policy as long as it doesn't have commercial plates and isn't used for deliveries, carrying passengers for hire, renting to others, or as an emergency vehicle." Because Winterheld occasionally drops off heaters at customers' homes, they denied her claim.
Nobody ever asked me to clarify what my business use was.
She wants the company to pay for her van and reinstate her insurance.
I truly believed I had insurance at the time.
And Winterheld says her van was worth $15,000. Her insurance rates will also go up because she is now considered an uninsured driver. She is asking for the company's ombudsman to review her case. On your side, I'm Pat Foran.
Okay, so this is an example where the insured thought she was being honest and answered all of the online questions, but sometimes these aren't enough questions asked, and there can be a gap in coverage, which leads to your policy not protecting you in the event of a claim. Online coverage can be more affordable, but not always with the right coverage or advice. Working with a broker over the phone or face-to-face will eliminate that issue, and we are always happy to help. Cybersecurity insurance. Today, businesses large and small rely on computers and data to run their business. This makes virtually all enterprises a potential target for hackers. About 43% of cyber attacks go after small businesses. Large corporations have the funds to bounce back, but your small business likely doesn't have that luxury. Exploring cybersecurity insurance options is useful because it helps in a number of ways. If important files are held hostage by ransomware, a cybersecurity insurance policy can pay off that ransom. Or if a hacker accesses sensitive customer information, your policy can cover the cost of legal fees if you're held liable. A news story you may have heard about this past summer was the Waterloo Region Board District School Board. They were hacked, and there was an estimated that data involving 70,000 students were stolen. So having this type of insurance in place will not only help you with the cost of recovery, but it also provides great advice and tips on how to reduce your exposure to these kind of attacks on your business. Business interruption coverage. Last but not certainly least is business interruption coverage. What about the money you lose while cleaning up after a flood or getting your network up and running again? Either scenario can have your company out of commission for days, in some cases weeks. Business interruption insurance helps make up for this lost revenue, so you're not scrambling to make ends meet. An example is rental income insurance. If you own residential or commercial property, it can help replace lost rental income if the property is temporarily uninhabitable after a claim. extra expense insurance is also an option for businesses that need to keep running while they're recovering from damage. It covers extra expenses like relocating to another building temporarily or outsourcing work. Give yourself some peace of mind. The hunt for commercial insurance is an anxious journey, but it gives you peace of mind in the long run by managing your company's risk. Nowhere is the adage, better safe than sorry, more applicable than in the world of commercial insurance. So take the time to research the best options for protecting your small business. By working with a Jocelyn insurance broker, you also are getting the best advice and the additional benefit of qualifying for a 10% discount on your commercial insurance as a BBB member. Thank you for your time. I would like to now introduce you to Romano Klump, who is our life and disability insurance specialist. Take it away, Romano.
My mic. And good morning, everyone. My name is Romano Klump. I help clients with employee benefit plans. And it seems that cultural shifts have adjusted the way employees and employers think about their compensation. Benefits aren't sitting on the bench anymore. They are starters when employees are looking for a place to hang their hat and help employers out with their businesses. I'm going to talk about a number of options today, very 101, but I'm sure that it'll be of interest. We're going to talk about insurance-based plans, keeping in mind that a larger group of people will lower and make rates more stable, as opposed by you getting your own plan through some XYZ insurance company and having a high claim. You will find huge increases for the next year, as opposed to being involved in a larger group, such as the BBB accredited business program. All the rates are pooled inside, which means stable rates for everyone currently and going forward. The plan has a dedicated administration team. It's the major group. They are a third-party administrator, and they look after the Better Business Bureau plan. You also would have what we call a claims app on your phone, a mobile app, and this makes reimbursement to the employee very quick and easy. Nothing to send in or anything, unless you don't have a mobile phone, of course, and there are those people out there. Part of the health benefit program includes health and dental and short-term and long-term disability, a little bit of life insurance, some accidental death and dismemberment, and of course, travel insurance. What do you think are the most important parts of a benefit plan? I guess is a question that a lot of employers are wondering, like, what do we get our employees? What's mandatory, what's not? And the good news is that nothing is mandatory. You can develop a plan with us. We're the exclusive broker for the BBB plan, and you can just have life insurance if you want, disability insurance, just drug coverage. Dental coverage really goes hand in hand with health coverage. And we have a number of levels that you can choose from. It's very simple. And pricing is what you would expect. We are, because we're a new block of business with the major group, if you have a current group plan now, we encourage you to ask us for a second quote. Usually we can come in at about 10 to 15% lower than what you're currently paying, sometimes even more. For new businesses that don't have a health and dental program, by all means, we can go as low as one person to cover them for benefits. Another option that a lot of employers are looking at is called the health care spending account. Many of you have heard that. You were wondering, or maybe wondering, what it is. And what it is that the employer decides an amount that they will give per year to a single employee, to a couple, or to a family. And for instance, if we use the 500, 1,500, 2,000 a year example, what happens is that the employee decides on what kind of a benefit they need, such as prescription medication, dental work, eyeglasses, special dental treatment, or whatever. And when they use that $2,000 up, if they had family coverage, they would have to wait to the next year to get another $2,000 benefit. However, if they don't use that $2,000, they can carry that forward to the next year and use up anything else that hasn't been used to give them even a higher benefit for that year. Many things that we can do within the plan. CRA allows many items that can be deducted from this program, and it just maximizes the benefits for the employees, but it reduces overall costs for employers, keeping it consistent and level throughout, and it's almost something that they can budget on year after year. The other area that seems to be very important these days after COVID is, have you ever used or referred someone to an employee assistance program, EAP for short? This is a program that really is not that expensive on a per employee basis. What it is, it offers the employee and members of their family confidential help for not only themselves and family members, anything from mental health issues to financial struggles, substance abuse, alcohol or drugs, or worried about raising kids, even marital problems. There are counselors that are available to help these people and individuals, and it includes a self-help library. But the important part is that it's a starting point to get you or the employee the help that they need going forward. And in many cases, it's saved lives, because, as you know, once you start talking to people about mental health issues, there's a lot that needs to be done, but there is a lot that is being done for people out there as well. Plan options, as another example, could include an employee wellness program. And this is where the employer decides to give, say, $250 per year for every employee to spend on anything that they see fit that would help them in their lives as a human being, as a person. They may want to buy art supplies. They may want to put money towards horseback riding lessons, whatever they would like to do. The employer could put money towards that. Gym membership comes to mind. But just remember that this money that the employer is giving the employee in terms of a wellness approach is a taxable benefit to the employee. But having said that, it's still money coming from the employee or the employer, because they want to make sure the employees are looked after. And we talked about it is important to include in an employee wellness program. We've already talked about that. There are so many items that can be used in an employee wellness program. It's becoming more and more prevalent. Employers some of them are really going quite extravagant with their offerings. We're suggesting that you start small and grow, see how the employees are taking it, but it's just one step in the whole wheel of employee benefits. We've talked about certain plan options very quickly. One that we haven't talked about yet is group RSPs. We do handle that as well. And how that works is that it allows the employee to contribute a certain amount of their earnings on a biweekly or monthly basis, and the employer matches their contributions. So let's say that we have an employee that's putting in $2,500 a year. and the employer will match that $2,500, giving that employee a $5,000 contribution limit. We have two things happening here. One is that the employee just doubled their money. And number two is that it's an RSP contribution and they can use that towards their taxes. And as you can see, the longer the employee stays with the company, the more RSP benefit will accumulate. It's totally vested. It's totally the employees. If they left, they can take it with them. But it's just a starting point where the employee could add more of their own money on top of that to really make their RSP grow. So you combine a lot of these various programs for employees and employers, and about employee retention and how to keep the employee happy. It creates a very, very robust and tightly knit program that employees appreciate. And as long as it's done on a cost-effective basis, things work out very, very well. I'm going to pass this on to Ryan, and Ryan, it's all yours.
Perfect. Thanks, Romano. Good morning, everyone. It's Ryan Buchholz, and program specialist through Jocelyn. So I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about the home and auto program that we have available for all accredited businesses through the Better Business Bureau. So we have a program where there's no cost for the business owners, which is a great way to pass something on this program to your employees. So nice thing about this program is most of the time, if you wanted to sign up or be eligible for this program, you would have to have roughly 250 to 300 employees. Now, being an accredited business, you could have a couple of employees, you could have 25, 30, but they would still qualify for this program, which is a great added benefit. So nice way to pass some value on to your employees, where this is something where the administrators of the business, they do not have to worry about this. This is solely you send it to your employees, they contact myself, and we can go through quotes for home, auto, any products that are, boats, stuff like that. So we deal with them. You don't have to worry about it. So it's one less thing on your plate. So we can go through things where with the home and auto program, we can offer discounts up to 15%. So this is through programs through Economical and Pembridge are the ones that we have available for the accredited businesses. We also here at Jocelyn have 25 other companies that we can look at, because not all the time will these group companies have the best rates. So our job is to go through, check on coverages, price, of course, but also make sure coverages are good. And then we can find a value for the client. Hopefully, worst case scenario, we're able to give some great advice and maybe, work with them and pass along some information, as we're supposed to be the experts. So let us do the looking for the employee to try to help with that added value for you. Eligibility for the program, any employee can do it. Owners, managers can also pass it along to your employees, which is nice. And not all employees may qualify through certain programs, due to claims, due to driving experience. So again, with all those extra companies we have access to all 6 higher risk markets for auto, as well as some different companies for property. So we're able to look at those for them and hopefully give them a nice added solution. So, great program available to all accredited businesses and their employees, and just a nice added value at. The best thing is, again, no additional cost, no hassle for the business owner. Put that on us. And we also do have, just to bring it up, Economical is running a promotion right now. If you call in for a quote, we can enter you in for what's called their 5K giveaway. So just for calling for a quote, we'll enter them into the sweepstakes. Last year, we actually did have one of our clients win the 5K, which was a great surprise. They're giving 30 away. Just for calling in, and it's across Canada, of course. It goes until the end of March 2023. So another added little bonus, just as a nice little piece to call in. No obligation there, which is nice but there is a chance for their employees to win a little bit of money, which is always a nice thing. So that's kind of the program in a nutshell. Just I think now I'll pass everything on to Chris Farrell.
Chris, you have to unmute yourself.
Okay. Sorry about that. So thanks, Ryan. I wanted to also thank the Better Business Bureau and Jocelyn Insurance for inviting us here today. So my name is Chris Farrell, and I'm a manager at the Waterloo Region Small Business Center. Our center serves the Waterloo region only. There are over 50 small business centers throughout the province. We are one of the largest in one of the 10th most populous areas of Canada. We actually have 3 locations. And so our main location is in Kitchener, and that's where I'm located. We also have a satellite office in Cambridge and one in Waterloo. And from here, you can see we offer lots of different services for small businesses. So whether a business is starting or growing or pivoting their business, we can find information and resources for them. We have 4 business advisors on staff who can help them with questions and cut through a lot of red tape quickly. We also offer mentoring, workshops, and events, and a few programs that I'm going to tell you about. So our mission is to help businesses or companies to start and grow in Waterloo Region. And we provide our support. It's primarily free for anybody to come and visit us because we do get funding through municipal and provincial governments. And so we provide support to entrepreneurs of all ages, any educational background, all stages of business and industry sectors. Typically, though, the most people that we would see are from professional backgrounds, retail, healthcare, and other types of services. Some home-based businesses, sole proprietors, and businesses that are located in their own commercial buildings. On an annual basis, we receive over 45,000 inquiries, and our business consultants work with over 2,000 people. Last year, we helped 500 businesses start up, and typically those businesses create 1 or 2 jobs. And then we were pretty robust in the workshop scene for startups and growing businesses. On an annual basis, we'll hold up to 300 workshops. Some of these we deliver ourselves through our own staff. Others are done by industry experts, or in a situation like this where we're joining in with other organizations. We hold about 25 events each year, and that's for small businesses to get out and network and learn from each other and learn from experts. We do have a bank of volunteer experts on staff, so we are not lawyers or accountants or specialists in marketing, and so we have people in the community that we can refer you to who can help you. And then we have about 80 mentors over the course of the year for our programs. So we have a few different programs. This is one that's, the application is actually open right now for this program. And it's called Starter Company Plus. You can be from any industry sector. And the program consists of some training and coaching and learning how to pitch for an award of up to $5,000. The great thing about this one is that we do provide one-on-one mentoring. And over the past 3 years, we we've provided over $250,000 in grants to small businesses. This is the fun program. So it's a summer company program. This is only for students, high school students, college students, or university students. And it's for students who, rather than get a job, create their own job for the summer, be their own boss. And this is, they can receive a $3,000 grant to get that business off the ground. It also is complemented by some training, mentoring, and coaching. This program is running right now too, and it's called the Digital, it's a Digital Main Street program, but our team is called the Digital Service Squad. And the team helps small businesses adapt to digital marketing tools, technology, and services. It's as simple as going online to our website and filling out a form for them to contact you. And they'll help you with e-commerce, website, social media, SEO, video, Google, and any kind of ad strategy that you're trying to create. And then another program that we work on with the region of Waterloo is called the OW Self-Employment Program. And this is for persons who are receiving OW and expressing an interest in starting a business. So we'll work with them over 60 weeks to help get their business off the ground. I wanted to say that, you know, when people come into our office, the first question is, I want to start a small business. And then we kind of triage that to try and figure out, you know, where they're at and what their needs are. So we have a really good checklist for people starting a business. And one of the most common questions is about insurance. And again, we're not the experts, so we like to refer people to Jocelyn because they're a local company and they have so many resources available. We know that they do hard work trying to help small businesses to get the best price for the insurance for their business. There's a little plug for Jocelyn, and they've worked with our summer company students before too, which has been really fun. So if you want to get in touch with us, here's our contact information. I put our website in the chat, and happy to answer any questions if you like. I'll pass it on now to
Chris, there's actually one question in the chat there if you want to address it.
Okay. And then this is some of the events that we have for November.
Yeah, so before
we have an email list that you can join to become part of our workshops or events. And the best way to do that is to join our newsletter, and you'll find the link on the homepage of our website. Just scroll to the bottom and you'll see a link and you can join us. We issue that newsletter once a month. Okay, no other questions? If you think of a question, put it in the chat. I'm sure we'll all be able to answer questions at the end. But right now I'm going to pass it over to Wayne Scott, and he's with the Better Business Bureau.
Morning, everybody. Thanks, Chris. Apologize if you can hear my dog snoring in the background. I'm working from home today, so she's on her 5th nap of the day. So, so just wanted to give you a quick idea of how easy it is to apply for accreditation with the Better Business Bureau. So, as I mentioned, it is an application process. There's some eligibility requirements, which really, you know, it's as long as you don't have any unanswered or unresolved complaints with the BBB, you know, from customers, then you're eligible to apply for accreditation. The application really takes, there's a couple of different ways you can do it. You can talk to one of our accreditation advisors over the phone. It takes about 5 to 10 minutes, or you can apply at bbb.org/apply. Either way, what we'll do is we'll have a quick conversation with you. We'll collect some documentation. So one thing we want to do is make sure that you know, if you're an incorporated company, that you have the proper incorporation documents. If your operating as name is different than your incorporation, you would need a master business license, or it's called a business number registration now. You would need proper insurance. So if you're a company that goes on site to your clients, you would need liability insurance. possibly errors and emissions insurance, depending on the type of business that you're in. So we'll collect those documents just to make sure that they're enforced and valid. And then that goes through to our admin team. So they do a quick investigation into the company. I know that sounds harsh, but really what it means is they'll look at those documents, they'll look at your online presence, and really we want to make sure that you're not making any claims that can't be substantiated, or or that you're not making any misleading claims. And really what we want to do is make sure that you're a trustworthy and transparent business for consumers and businesses to work with. So again, the application process is fairly simple. The benefits of accreditation really is you get the BBB accredited business seal on your website, your social media, your marketing materials, and as Steve mentioned, at the start of the presentation, that really helps you stand out amongst your competition. And some of the other benefits are, of course, you get some great discounts from some of our affiliate partners like Jocelyn Insurance. So definitely take advantage of that. But the application process, the whole process typically takes about 7 to 10 business days and is fairly easy to do. So let me know if you have any questions, but yeah, that's it.
All right, thank you everyone for your participation there. I think we're going to open it up to some questions. We do have one in the chat here. So can you just touch on E&O and how a rate would be determined and an example of what it would cover?
Aaron, do you want to take so this on the this is on errors and emissions? Do you want to take you're on mute. Did you want to?
Sorry.
That's okay.
There we go. Yes, so error and emissions insurance, it's also known as professional liability insurance. It protects your business against claims that if you're giving professional advice or services and it causes a customer financial harm due to an alleged mistake or failure to perform a service, that coverage comes into place if there is a claim. The rate is sort of it's determined by what the exposure is for what service you're providing, but we can definitely have a look at what your business, what services you provide, and complete an application and get some pricing for you, if that helps.
Yeah, it's good. I just add it's a specialized policy, so not every company we represent offers professional liability.
That's right.
Examples would be obviously in the healthcare, pharmaceutical.
Yeah,
you get into
tech.
Tech. Yeah. Consulting. That's a big. A lot of people will hold themselves as consultants of small businesses.
Yeah.
And they really need to have this as well. So
that's right. But we do have a lot of markets, so there's a lot of pricing options for people to have a look at, and I'm happy to help you with that.
Yeah, and one thing I'd ask you, and what's typically what's a minimum premium? Because that's sometimes what we end up in. If the exposure is not great, there's still a minimum policy premium.
A minimum premium would be $500. Typically, people get an E&O package, so it comes with the E&O and the commercial general liability. So if you have protection for your property if you have clients coming onto your place of business. So yeah, anyway. Probably around $1,000, but depending on what you do, it can start at $500 a year. And we do have payment plans in place for that as well to help.
All right. I think I'll let Hannah ask her question there, and then I'll move back to the chat and fire off some of those.
Hello. From your experience, and here I'm thinking of a consulting business, so pretty much me, myself, and I in a computer room and at home, driving my own car for meetings. So really nothing, no inventory, nothing. From your experience in terms of claims, what is really kind of the most important, or what is most important in terms of value for your client? Where can you see the claims come in? What is the kind of actually most risky part of the business? So I could put this first. Obviously, any kind of spending account at the beginning is a lot of money. So I'm thinking of what it is. And personally, I would think that, I guess, general liability, car insurance, and then security. That's something that's on my mind because computers is something I don't know too much about, right? But like, again, from your actual experience, not what what people suggest, but from the claim experience, which one would you suggest?
I had a little trouble hearing that audibly,
Yeah.
so I don't, but I think I did. Hannah, I'm gonna try to answer it, and you can just let us know if we caught everything you were asking. So I think the question was, as a small business, you're a consultant in a consulting role, um, and what would be the priority for insurance? Um,
Yes.
and I Okay, so I would, and I'll give it back to the team here, but I do believe, well, one, you can take advantage of a number of things that we've already talked about, but certainly the general liability is, and if you're offering professional advice, those two, that combined package Aaron talked about, is likely your first priority. Um, and then adding to that, you're buying personal insurance anyway, so you may want to talk to somebody like Ryan to help you with that. And there may be some home-based business options we can tack on there depending on the professional services you do. And then I think the third step would be, not to put Romano last, but I think you need to look at your personal things and employees. But you're certainly, health spending accounts are challenged to do unless you're incorporated. I think that's, Romano, maybe I'll just let you touch on that for a second.
Yeah, it's the only way that they work, and you have to have a business that's incorporated at arm's length. And that's the only way that CRA recognizes and will allow those expenses. Otherwise, if you're a sole proprietor, you would have to include them on your personal income tax return and only receive anywhere from 18 to 28% credit on your actual expense. So in that regard, it might be an idea to incorporate, and perhaps you already are.
Hannah, is that answering the question for you, or is there additional?
Yes. That was exactly my question. Although I was asking, from the claims that you see, which do you see actually claimed the most?
On the health spending account?
No, on like insurance.
Oh,
Between,
okay.
like, for a consultant professional, what gets them actually in trouble? So which claims do you actually see?
Fair enough. I would say it depends on the type of consulting, and that's something that Aaron, she could probably answer your question better offline to give you some examples. But I think likely the professional liability, the more claims we see are actually first party property, to be perfectly honest. So like a loss to your home, a loss to your business tools and equipment. Aaron, do you want to add to that? I think you're trying to say something, but you're on mute.
Sorry. Maybe if you have customers coming onto your property, like slip and falls and things like that. Those are pretty prevalent right now.
Biggest thing too, if I can jump in on the home side, Anna, if your business is run directly out of your physical home location, biggest thing is, even if you have business insurance in place, you want to make sure that it's also on your home insurance, because if it's run out of the home, if something happened and you didn't have the proper stuff in place, claim could be denied, even if it wasn't, to do with the home policy. But if they didn't know you have a business out of the home, you could be canceled or claim denied. And just, it really depends on where, if you're doing consulting in the States, what amount you are for the year. It just depends on qualifications for your actual home policy.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't want to go on for a long time on these things, as we're all expert opinions, but I think what the other part Ryan touched on there, it's really smart, or good advice would be, deal with the same company for your business and your home-based business, so that you do not have a surprise when you have a claim.
Okay, Ashley had a question. And yeah. Do you want me to answer that, Julia?
Sure, yeah, go for it.
Is there an association plan for small business, or are we all applying for our own employee benefit plans? The answer is, it is an association through the Better Business Bureau for accredited businesses. And if you are a member of the Better Business Bureau, that gives you the opportunity to become involved and receive health and dental package through the Better Business Bureau rate plan. So if you are part of the Better Business Bureau as an accredited business, you would be allowed to participate in that plan. So what I would do is that, for instance, you and I would converse as to what you're looking for, how many people, how many employees, and this sort of thing. Even if it's down to one person, that's fine. And we would then obtain rates based on what your needs are. And then the rates that come back to me are the rates that are from the various plans that are run through the Better Business Bureau group block is what we call it. And Jocelyn Insurance brokers themselves are in that group block because we've been members for almost 47 years now. So you're not doing it on your own. You would become involved in a number of other businesses that are a part of it as well. So I hope that answers your question.
It does. Thank you.
Okay.
There was a question from Chris about would a business be too large or too small to join BBB? So no, we work with companies. I mean, the average company we work with is typically 1 to 7 employees, but we work with companies with thousands of employees as well. So yeah, we have plans for everything from 1 employee or just the owner themselves right up to huge conglomerates. So.
All right, I think we got one more question in the chat from Barbara there. So the video that we showed, how would you be able to prevent a situation like that, essentially?
Do you want to answer that, Steve?
Yep. Go ahead, Ryan.
So Barbara, it depends. I mean, if you're dealing with a broker or actually, dealing, like in this case, it's all online. Person thought they were doing things correctly. If you're dealing with a person that you're actually talking to, and if you have a business, ideally, as brokers, we should be asking those questions when signing up new questions. Is there any business commercial use? And if that's the case, there is. We need to find out what exactly are you using the vehicle for. If it's just going to meetings, visiting sites, or are you carrying tools? Are you, like, as this unfortunate happened with the lady, she's carrying these, making deliveries of the product. So that way we can then decide, okay, is this a personal lines thing? Does it need to move over to a commercial vehicle? Just so it's being rated properly, and then we don't have these options. So just basically, if you are doing it, if whoever you're talking to, just make sure you mention it. Same as if, let's say, you had a business out of the house. Same thing if you have a business out, even if you don't think it's anything large, still make sure you let them know, and then let us do our thing and make sure that we're checking all the boxes and making sure you're protected properly.
Yeah, and Ryan, I would just add there, that's one of the benefits of dealing with a professional broker like Ryan. You're going to get the advice, and we're going to commit to it covering you when the accident happens. And I think you just had an example. Can you give Barbara a bit of an idea, Ryan, what the difference was on that recently? You working on one?
Yeah, for sure. So I had a client call. Actually, it wasn't a client of mine. We were looking at doing some stuff. It was a commercial referral, and they had a business that was actually it's books. So believe it or not, they sell books. Something very, very, you wouldn't think of it. It's out of the house. They don't have anybody come to the house. So they take stuff over to the States once a week. So the husband was driving the books to the border, taking it over to a drop box about 10 kilometers in the US. What happened was he didn't have a claim while he was doing this. They were actually on a trip to the States, just as a normal trip. He had an accident. They asked how often he visited the States, and he said every week. And they said, well, why? And that's when it came out about delivering of the books. And then that also then came into, well, where's your business out of? Well, it's out of the home. They had both policies being canceled within 30 days because the information was different from what they had. It's a very small business, wasn't a whole bunch in revenue, but due to the state's exposure and them not knowing, both their policies were being canceled, and it was a very, very stressful ordeal for the client. We were able to fix it. We got them the CGL policy through the commercial. We were able to put their home with the same company, and everything's looked after the way it should be. But yeah, there's definitely, it can be very scary, and a lot of things you don't think might be a big business that you still need to protect yourself.
And what about the accident that they had in the States?
They did cover it. Luckily, yeah, luckily, because it wasn't be from it, but that just said no. Now it's not misrep, but it just wasn't put forward of what they were doing, even though I didn't think it was anything severe, but it just made a difference to the risk.
There's one in the news right now too about a gentleman down in I'm going to say Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and his car and his truck, and he uses it for estimating. He does roofs or something, and again, insurance denied, and they're not paying his claims. So it's not as uncommon as you may think.
No.
No, it happens all the time, and you'd be surprised at how many businesses are run out of the home. My wife does some sewing. You know, it's just a little bit. She does 1 or 2 craft shows a year. I've put it on our policy for the $100 that it costs for the business, but you just never know, and it's just precaution to make sure you're covered properly.
Yeah.
No. It's great advice, and typically, Barbara, what keeps us up at night a little bit. Well, first of all, if you're dealing with a direct, what we call a direct writer or a company online, if you're doing any kind of delivery, they will cancel your policy and tell you to go somewhere else. Just to be really, just a public service announcement as well. If you're driving or know somebody that's driving for Uber Eats or any food delivery, Uber Eats we can help with, but if it's Skip the Dishes or any other food delivery, pizza delivery, they are driving without cover. So that's the public service announcements, and we'll leave it at that. We can help them, but it's not cheap.
Wow.
All right, so that looks like we're coming up to the end of our time here. I don't think that we have any more questions, but if anybody does think of anything, feel free to email me. It's just the same email that I sent the Zoom link from, so you can email me at any time, and then I can pass those off to the appropriate people. But yeah, thank you very much again for joining, and I can send out a copy of the recorded webinar to each of you, so you can have it for reference, share it with anyone that you need as well. And I believe that we'll be posting it to both ours and Jocelyn's YouTube pages.